In this video, I explore the idea that we take the Dualsense for granted. I look at its ergonomics and main features. I put forward the argument that not only is the Dualsense the best controller ever, but that it has changed the way we game forever. The design mimics a typical controller, featuring a D-pad on one side and 4 select icon buttons on the other, these being triangle, circle, X and square. It has your typical 2 thumbsticks. It also has the typical shoulder and bumper buttons on the top. In the Dualsense's case, the R1, L1, R2 and L2 buttons. It also has an options button, which acts as your typical start button or pause button in many cases. As well as the share button for screenshots and video recording, it has a PlayStation icon in the middle that is also a button. This is used to return to the home page of the PlayStation, and if you hold it, it will switch the console on and off. The Dualsense separates itself from the typical controller due to many of its features, the first being the touchpad. The touchpad was introduced on the DualShock, more commonly referred to as the PS4 controller. It is the largest button on the face of the controller and can be used in a few different ways. It can be pressed either in the middle as one button, on either left or right side, or it can be swiped on depending on what game you're playing. Another groundbreaking feature is the lights that surround the touchpad. There is a small light located below the touchpad that indicates that the controller is switched on and connected. Then when you play a game, it changes typically to dark blue. However, certain games take advantage of the light up feature, such as Grand Theft Auto 5. As when playing as Michael, the controller is light blue, but transitioning to Trevor will turn it orange. Also to note, the light can flash, as when you are wanted in Grand Theft Auto 5, they flash red and blue when you're being chased by the police. It also has what I consider the most underrated button on the controller, the mute button. Perfect for when playing with other people in your party, as you can quickly mute yourself to eat, talk or whatever. I personally appreciate this feature the most of any feature the controller brings. It saves me scrambling on the side of my headset trying to remember where the mute button is. A real lifesaver. Haptics have been a thing in controllers for years. It was previously referred to as rumble. The haptics are groundbreaking in the sense that they go the extra mile in trying to engulf you in the game you are playing. For example, in Call of Duty, when aiming in, the controller will resist against your pressure. It will also do this when you fire the gun. The heavier the gun trigger, such as a sniper, the heavier it feels on the controller. Alternatively, when playing a racing game, the R2 trigger used for accelerating will have rumble and mimic a real-life accelerator pedal. It cannot be overstated how immersive the haptics feel. You really miss it when it's not there. The Dualsense's crowning achievement and unique selling point is the haptics. Most of the marketing for the controller from Sony was to do with the haptics. The Dualsense also comes with the added bonus of speakers. When playing a multitude of games, your controller comes alive with various sounds. This could be the phone in Grand Theft Auto 5, or the reins of Kratos' sleigh. It just engulfs you that bit more and takes you by surprise sometimes. They are also impressively loud. It has a textured back paneling for grip. This is good for the sweatier game sessions, but upon closer inspection, the textured grip is etched with X, triangle, square and circle, the 4 PlayStation icons. The thumbsticks are both situated on the bottom of the controller. This means your hands are mirroring each other. When using a controller with an opposite configuration, the D-pad is low and the thumbstick is raised on the left side, whilst the right side remains buttons raised and the thumbstick low. The mirrored effect of the Dualsense is symmetrical. PlayStation themselves pretty much branded the PlayStation 5 on the Dualsense, as there weren't many games coming with release. I think the Dualsense is the reason we no longer have a console war. I very rarely find myself booting up the Xbox now. This is due to me buying games to be played on PlayStation 5 so I can use my Dualsense. The overall feel of the design, weight, build quality and choice of materials is spot on. They are the correct combination crafted to precise perfection. The Dualsense is a masterpiece that should not be taken for granted. I hope you enjoyed this video, and the next time you pick up your Dualsense, you take the time to appreciate it for the work of art that it is.